What if I told you there's a book that's driven people insane? A book written 600 years ago that no one can read. Not the NSA, not World War II codebreakers, not the most powerful artificial intelligence on Earth. A book filled with plants that don't exist, star charts that show things medieval people couldn't possibly see, and drawings of human beings that look like they're being manufactured. 113 years of failure, 600 researchers, every single one broken. A man who spent 37 years trying to crack it. His final words were, "I have wasted my life on an impossible puzzle." This is the story of the book that cannot be read. Welcome to Historical Nightmare. I'm your guide through history's most impossible mysteries. (1912), an Italian villa. A rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich opens a forgotten chest in an ancient Jesuit college. Inside, wrapped in cloth, hidden for centuries, a manuscript. He opens it. Beautiful illustrations, detailed drawings, page after page of text in elegant handwriting. But it's written in an alphabet he's never seen, a language that doesn't exist. Voynich thinks he's found a treasure, an ancient text waiting to be decoded. He'll sell it to a museum, make a fortune. He has no idea he's just found something that will destroy everyone who touches it. The manuscript is 240 pages. Real vellum, made from calfskin. In 2014, researchers at the University of Arizona used radiocarbon dating on the pages themselves. The results? The vellum was created between 1404 and 1438. This book is 600 years old. That part is proven. That part is real. But everything inside it is wrong. 170,000 individual characters, written in 20 to 30 unique symbols that repeat in patterns. The statistical analysis shows it follows rules. It has structure. It has grammar. But when you try to match it to any known language, any known cipher, complete gibberish, it's like finding a book written by something not human. Voynich starts with the illustrations. The book has 113 detailed drawings of plants. He's excited. He'll identify them. That'll give him a clue to where this book came from. He checks botanical guides. Nothing. He asks experts. Nothing. Because those plants don't exist. Not in 1400. Not in 2025. Not anywhere on Earth. In 1921, a botanist named Hugh O'Neill spent 6 months trying to identify just one plant from this manuscript. He compared them to 40,000 specimens from around the world. He found nothing, not even close matches. His conclusion? Either these plants are from a lost continent, or someone in medieval Europe had access to botanical knowledge we still don't possess. But the plants are nothing compared to what comes next, the astronomical section. 25 pages of star charts and celestial diagrams. They show the sun, the moon, stars arranged in formations that don't match any known constellations. And then, a spiral galaxy, 72 individual stars, arranged in a perfect spiral pattern, detailed, precise. There's just one problem. Galileo wouldn't observe spiral galaxies until 1610. That's 206 years after this book was created. The detailed analysis of galaxies required telescopes that didn't exist until the 1800s. Someone in 1404 drew something they had absolutely no way of seeing, in perfect detail. William Friedman, born 1891, died 1969, the greatest cryptographer who ever lived. This man broke Japan's most complex codes during World War II. He created the cipher systems that protected American military communications for decades. The The National Security Agency calls him the father of modern cryptography. If a code existed, William Friedman could crack it. In the early 1920s, Friedman first encountered the Voynich Manuscript. It's just another puzzle, another code. He's cracked harder things. He'll solve this. He assembles a team in 1944, the best military cryptographers in America. The same men who just helped win a world war by breaking unbreakable Japanese codes. They called themselves the First Study Group. They work for 3 years. They try 200 different approaches. They build custom machines specifically designed to crack this code. They use early computer analysis. Nothing. Zero progress. Most people would quit. Most people would move on. William Friedman doesn't quit. He works on the Voynich Manuscript from the 1920s until his death in 1969. Nearly 5 decades of his life. And at the end of all that time, all that genius, all that effort, he reaches a conclusion. The manuscript, he believes, is an early attempt to construct an artificial or universal language of the a priori type, a language invented from scratch, based on philosophical concepts rather than existing words, created in 1404, over 200 years before anyone thought such languages were even attempted. But here's the thing that haunts me. Even after figuring that out, Friedman still couldn't read it. The greatest codebreaker in human history. He understood what it was, but he died never knowing what it said. The final section of the manuscript shows over 100 naked women, small figures, bathing. But this isn't normal bathing. They're in pools of green liquid, connected by elaborate pipes and tubes emerging from vessels, chambers like they're being processed. It doesn't look like bathing, it looks like a biological factory for humans in 1400. In 2023, a Reddit user showed these drawings to a bioengineer. No context, just the images. The bioengineer's assessment? They look like early sketches of a bioreactor system, the kind used in modern genetic engineering. That technology was invented in 1987, 583 years after this book was written. Let me give you the failure numbers. The NSA's best cryptographers tried to crack it in the 1950s. Failed. IBM's advanced computer analysis in 1976. Failed. Professor Gordon Rugg's exhaustive hoax investigation. Inconclusive. Google's machine learning algorithms in 2017. Failed. OpenAI's GPT-4 in 2023. Produced complete gibberish. Over 600 professional and amateur researchers have attempted serious decoding since 1912. The success rate, 0. 100% failure rate. There's something researchers call the Voynich effect. People who become obsessed with this manuscript, they change, they deteriorate. John Dee, the famous Elizabethan occultist, he owned this manuscript in the 1580s. He claimed it was written by Roger Bacon and would unlock the secrets of nature. He died believing demons had deceived him through the book. Wilfrid Voynich, the man who discovered it in 1912. He spent his entire fortune trying to prove its authenticity, trying to find someone who could read it. He died broke and confused in 1930. Never got his answers. Professor Leo Levitov. He spent 40 years convinced it was a Cathar heresy text. Published his theory in 1987. The academic community destroyed him, tore his research apart. He died isolated, bitter, broken. The Voynich Manuscript doesn't just resist being read. It seems to consume the people who try. 2014. Researchers led by Diego Amancio at the University of São Paulo use statistical methods to analyze the text. They discovered something extraordinary. The manuscript shows organizational structures comparable to real languages. word patterns, grammatical consistency, semantic relationships. In 90% of cases, the Voynich systems match those of actual books in known languages. Their conclusion? It's not random gibberish, it's real language. But that just makes it worse. Because if it's a real language, why can't anyone read it? Where did it come from? Who spoke it? And why is this the only example that exists? So what is the Voynich Manuscript? There are only a few possibilities, and every single one is disturbing. Option 1, it's an elaborate hoax. But the carbon dating proves the vellum is from 1404 to 1438. The ink was added shortly after. That means someone in medieval Europe created 240 pages of text with consistent statistical properties that perfectly mimic language, just to trick people 600 years in the future with technology they couldn't possibly imagine. Why? What would be the point? Option 2, it's a cipher we can't break. That would mean medieval cryptography was so sophisticated, so advanced, that it surpasses modern supercomputers and artificial intelligence. Everything we know about the history of codes and ciphers would be wrong. Option 3. It's a constructed language that predates everything we know. William Friedman believed this. A philosophical language created in 1404. Over 2 centuries before, we thought anyone attempted such a thing. But if that's true, who created it? Where are the other examples? Why does nothing else like it exist? Option 4. It's something else entirely. Something we can't even categorize. Right now, in 2025, the Voynich Manuscript sits in the Beinecke Rare Book Library at Yale University. Catalog number MS408. You can view high-resolution scans of every page online for free. Thousands of people look at it every year. The library receives an average of 400 inquiries per year from people who claim they've cracked the code. Every single one has been wrong. No one can read it. Someone asked me last year if I'd ever tried to decode it myself. I looked at it. For about an hour, I started seeing patterns that weren't there, connections that didn't exist. I started dreaming about those impossible plants. I stopped. Because I've studied what happens to people who don't stop. And I don't want to end up like William Friedman, a genius who spent nearly 50 years of his life on this manuscript, who understood what it might be, but died never knowing what it said. So what is the Voynich Manuscript? After 113 years of research, we don't know. After examination by the world's greatest minds, we don't know. After analysis by the world's most powerful computers, we don't know. 240 pages, 170,000 characters, zero understanding, sitting in its case at Yale University, waiting for someone who can finally read it, or waiting to break one more person who tries. If you want to see the Voynich Manuscript yourself, I put a link to Yale's digital archive in the description below. Look at it, study it, see if you notice something that 600 researchers missed. You probably won't. But the Voynich Manuscript has been wrong about everything before. Maybe it's waiting for you. This has been Historical Nightmare. Subscribe if you enjoy mysteries that destroy everyone who tries to solve them. Because some knowledge might be forever beyond human understanding. And maybe that's exactly how it was designed.